Hello, good evening, and welcome to our alternative audio coverage of Fulham against Leeds United in the FA Cup fifth round. I'm your alternative commentator, Nicholas Jones, and you're listening to the Commentary Hub. And I have and in the commentary booth, I have alongside me Paul James. Paul, good evening.
Good evening, Nick. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all well tonight. Interesting game ahead.
Yes. So this game is the case of two clubs at opposite ends of the Premier League table. Fulham are pushing for Europe, currently sixth in the table. At the moment, they're aiming for the Europa League. But just before we came on air, Paul, you said that Champions League football is a very realistic target.
Well, it certainly is. Now, they didn't get any help with Spurs beating Chelsea at the weekend, but they're still within 6 points of Tottenham Hotspur in fourth place. So whilst it may seem quite inconceivable that Fulham would make the top four, it's there for them and it's a realistic possibility.
Yes, they have it, and yes, they're having a really good season. Currently unbeaten in 6 matches after a 1-1 draw with Wolverhampton Wanderers at the weekend. But Marco Silva, Marco Silva, their manager, he's done wonders. He's done wonders for the club in recent times, hasn't he?
Well, it's just been amazing. Well, Fulham was once a bit of a yo-yo side. They're very well established in the Premier League right now. And they're not just a mid-table side or a top 10 side, which would have been good enough, more than good enough. They are challenging for the top 4, and they're in the 5th round of the FA Cup. And in all honesty, they haven't really been there that often. Only 3 of the last 12 years have Fulham reached this stage of the competition. So it's they're kind of got a balancing act right now, does Marco Silva. I noticed he's made a lot of changes for today's game, but there's a bit of a balancing act going on, a realistic chance of Europe and an FA Cup to still play for.
In comparison to Fulham, Leeds United have had a horrendous season. The sacking of Jesse March in February did little to further their form, and they have won only 5 matches this season, including when they beat Southampton 1-0 at the weekend, their first win in 4 months. But some consolation is a good start for their new manager Javi Gracia.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult challenge for him because Leeds are absolutely bombarded with injuries, and it doesn't help that Sam Greenwood is suspended today either. But you've Stuart Dallas with a broken leg. Adam Forshaw is, I think he's back on in today though, is he? No, he's not. They've got Archie Gray, who is back in the lineup on the bench today. Big misses for Luis Sinistera and Pascal Stroik, who's still out with the head injury suffered against Manchester United. It's a challenging time for Leeds United, fighting at the bottom of the table, and at the same time, with all of these injuries, a new manager. I think Javier Gracia has got his work cut out, and hopefully, I'm hoping he's able to get his feet under the table and get Leeds settled.
Never forget, he managed Watford in the 18-19 FA Cup, taking them all the way to the final, where they lost to Manchester City. But we can now go through the team, starting with Fulham. In goal is number 1, Marek Rodak. The remaining players: number 33, Anthony Robinson; number 13, the captain, Tim Ream; number 4, Toshin Adarabioyo; number 12, Cedric Suarez; number 26, Joao Paulina; number 28, Shasha Lukic; number 11, Mana Solomon; number 18, Andreas Pereira; number 8, Harry Wilson; and number 9, Alexander Mitrovic, back after a spell of thigh injury. For Leeds United in goal is number 1, Ilan Meslier. Number 2, the captain, Luke Ayling. Number 5, Robin Koch. Number 25, Rasmus Christensen. Number 3, Junior Firpo. Number 28, Weston McKennie. Number 12, Tyler Adams. Number 8, Mark Roca. Number 10, Cristiancho Somerville. Number 24, Jorginho Rutter. And number 9, Wilfried Nonto. The USA national team, well represented with the likes of Robinson, Ream, and McKennie and Adams. The players getting ready to come onto the pitch now. And before I ask Paul for his thought for any further thoughts on the clubs, we can now go through our match officials. Our referee Chris Kavanagh and his assistant referee Scott Ledger and Natalie Aspinall. The fourth official is Josh Smith. On VAR is Michael Salisbury and the assistant VAR Timothy Woods. And we've got other games in the FA Cup coming up as well. Currently it is 0-0 between Stoke City and Brighton and Hove Albion, and Leicester City and Blackburn Rovers are at 0-0 as well. One thing I should also mention is that as we are now in the 5th round, there will be no replays. Should both clubs still be level after 90 minutes, there will be a period of extra time, and if necessary, a penalty shootout. So the team's getting ready. So the team's getting ready to come on now onto the pitch. Paul, a second consecutive win for Leeds. A second consecutive win for Leeds will boost the confidence even further of Javi Gracia. But knowing Fulham, they could. But knowing Fulham's recent records, his smile probably won't last for long.
No, I mean Fulham are a very impressive team this season. I've been extremely impressed with them. Having Mitrovic back as well is really going to test that Leeds defence. The Leeds defence has been shaky at best, and second halves have not been kind to Leeds United. So I think for me, I am kind of leaning towards Fulham on this. But what I do know, as you know, an FA Cup tie, anything can happen. And this is the first ever meeting in the FA Cup as well. The teams, of course, have played each other in other competitions 51 times, 20 wins for Fulham, 26 wins for Leeds, draws 14, and Leeds have won 4 out of the last 5 games against the Cottagers. But I get the feeling that this may go Fulham's way today.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that insight, Paul. And the game is at Craven Cottage, the oldest stadium currently in use, but in London by a league club, which dates back to 1879, the year the club was founded. As for Fulham, it's a 4-2-3-1 formation. Rodak in goal, Cedric, Toshin, Ream, Robinson at the back 4, Paulino and Lukic in midfield. The forward 3 of Wilson, Pereira and Solomon, with Mitrovic all on his own in the striker position. For Leeds, it's also a 4-2-3-1 formation. Meslier in goal, Ayling, Christensen, Koch and Firpo, the back 4, with Adams and Roca in midfield, flanking Somerville, McKennie and Nonto, with Rutter in the striker position. Whilst we've touched on Alexander Mitrovic being the stand-up player for Fulham, who would you say has to be the torchbearer for Leeds?
Oh, Wilfred Nanto. He's really impressed me since he's joined Leeds. He is so quick and very dangerous down the wings. I think Fulham are going to definitely have some problems handling his pace and his ability. I think it's important for Leeds, if they're going to be successful today, to bring him into the game as much as possible.
Another player that comes to mind is Manor Solomon. He has scored in Fulham's last 3 matches as a substitute. So expect him to want to add to that. Fulham are wearing all white. Leeds are going for a strip of black and fluorescent orange. So you could say, Paul, that they're almost reminiscent of Hull City rather than Leeds United. And the players now gathering around the centre of the pitch as we get ready to pause for at least a minute's silence. And just as I talk to you, Craven Cottage will fall silence on the first blast of the referee's whistle. And my mistake, it's a minute's applause in tribute of the legendary football commentator John Motson, who passed away only a few days ago. An inspiration to commentators past, an inspiration to commentators of today, and of course and the future, including us at the TC Hub, and we extend our condolences to his family and friends. Paul, the loss of John Motson, what a great blow to football.
It's a terrible blow to football. I grew up listening to this man. He's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into commentary today. Him and Brian Moore. I feel like a part of my childhood has died. I feel like we've lost one of the greatest commentators ever. And as commentators today, we stand on his shoulders. He's a giant. May he rest in peace.
Indeed, and I listened to Motti mainly through the football computer games. I was more through the computer games. In terms of football commentators, I was more of the Jonathan Pearce type. But there you go. So Fulham about to kick us off with Andreas Pereira. Getting ready. So he kicks the ball and away we go then for the 5th round of the FA Cup between Fulham and Leeds. And straight away, I think Fulham might have had the early attack, but I think it was headed away by Leeds. It's a Fulham throw-in to be taken by Cedric Suarez. Suarez throws to Mitrovic, I think, but and it was almost taken by Leeds, and the ball cleared out by Leeds. Fulham playing from left to right, Leeds from right to left, and I think it was Mitrovic who had. And I think it was Mitrovic who had who had that touch of the ball. He's very keen to get back. He's very keen to get back into the action after his thigh injury. But Fulham passing back to Rodak in goal. Rodak passes the ball back quickly to Ream, and Fulham still managing to maintain possession, although nicked by Mark Roca of Leeds United, but given away this time to Anthony Robinson. You have to say, Paul, Fulham straight into it from the get-go.
Frantic start by Fulham. Leeds perhaps caught a little bit early, but I think that both teams maybe just need to settle down. It's a frantic start.
And we've had a goal coming in the Stoke Brighton match. Evan Ferguson scoring for the Seagulls in the 30th minute, and so the throw in taken by Leeds, but the ball's given back to Fulham and straight back to Rodak, who passes to Suarez. Suarez passes the ball up the field to Tim Ream, and Ream Ream still in control, but he manages to cross down wing to Suarez, and Suarez passing to Harry Wilson, back to Suarez. Suarez now again to Paulina. Paulina now passing back to Adrabayoyo, and actually we're just going to call him Toshin. And so Toshin now passing to Anthony Robinson, across down wing by Robinson to Harry Wilson. Wilson does well to keep control, and he heads to Cedric Suarez, and Suarez tries to go for a long-range cross, but it ends up in the arms of Meslier. Fulham just do not want to let go of the ball.
It's a good start by Fulham. They've been positive early on. As a home team in a cup tie, that's what you want to do.
It certainly is. But Leeds are now starting to wake up a little bit. But Ream was able to ensure that the ball was. But Ream was able to ensure that the ball is still in Fulham hands. But a throw-in given to Leeds United to be taken by the captain Ayling. Leeds have now got to start. Leeds have now really got to start putting the pressure on Fulham because Fulham, like I say, on the start from the get-go, they just seem to catch Leeds napping, but the Cottagers still doing well to hold on. It's Ream to Toshin, and Toshin passes back to Ream. And so it's Ream now with the ball for Fulham, passing now back to Toshin. Toshin is looking for a gap. He crosses up the field to Anthony Robinson, I think it is. Yes, indeed it is Robinson. Or was it Manor Solomon? No, it was Solomon. And Solomon passing back to Paulina. Now again towards Solomon. And the ball has now been picked up by Toshin. And the ball is about to be rolled out of goal by Meslier. Indeed, it is. And so Meslier rolls the ball to Junior Firpo. Leeds still haven't woken up yet, Paul.
No, they're under the cosh right now. For Fulham, it's the final ball for them. Their build-up play is quite impressive, but the final ball for them is just missing right now. But Leeds are definitely on the back foot right now, and they need to get their foot into this game a little bit.
We'll also be bringing you half-time and full-time updates from matches in the Championship, League 1 and League 2. So do please stay with us if you're into that sort of thing, as any of those games could well be important come the end of the season. So 5 minutes in on the Commentary Hub, it's Fulham 0, Leeds United 0, and we're also live on the Commentary Hub 2, Storm FM, JB Sports, and you can also catch us on our Twitch channel. So Robinson now to Paulina. Paulina passes back down to Toshin. Toshin passes downwind to Suarez. Suarez now towards Wilson. And Wilson passing back to Paulina. Paulina now crossing to Manor Solomon. It's Solomon now with the ball for Fulham, but he was pushed out. By Luke Ayling. And so Ayling now with the chance to throw for Leeds. Having Grazia in the dugout, chewing away nervously, and as Ayling gets ready to throw the ball over the line, which he does. He throws to I think that was a midfield. I couldn't get the number, and it was just with Tyler Adams. Adams now crossing to Russell, I think it is. Now it's with Wilfred Nonso, and that is the first real part, and that's the first real chance of aggression we've seen by Leeds United. The ball is now in the 18-yard box, but caught by Marek Rodak, and this was the incentive that Leeds United needed to wake up from their slumber.
Yeah, good work by Nonto down the left-hand side. He launched that cross in. Crescencio Somerville just was not able to bring the ball down. Better control, he might have got a shot away on Rodak there.
Throw into Fulham, and it was taken by Suarez, but the ball has to go back to Rodak in goal. Rodak now passing it to Toshin. Toshin now with the ball for Fulham, and I'm quite surprised that despite Fulham being in control for most of the game, they haven't had a real chance of a shot at goal.
No, it's really been the final ball for Fulham. That's really been the issue. The build-up play's been okay. They've pressed and really pushed Leeds back, but that final ball just hasn't been there yet for Fulham.
No, it certainly wasn't. And it's now with Tim Ream. Ream passing up front to a Solomon, but cut out by Leeds United, and the ball is now with Crescencio. Crescencio passing to Nonto. It's Nonto to Crescencio, but saved again by Rodak. And you have to say now that Leeds could well be starting to turn the tables a bit.
Yeah, once again, it's Nonto at the centre of it, coming forward here, approaching the edge of the penalty area. The little pass there was just a bit too much on it. Just a bit too much weight on the pass. Otherwise, Somerville was in there.
Yes, he certainly was. And the ball now goes towards Meslier, Marek's opposite number in Rodak's opposite number in goal, I should say. And so it's Ayling passing to I think that was McKennie. McKennie trying to cross to Rutter, but Rutter's effort was headed away by Robinson. Good defending there by Fulham.
Yeah, good work at the back there. They've been caught out just maybe a little bit at the back, Fulham, but good defending that time.
Certainly was, and the fans now waving their scarves in the air. Rather frantically, and it's Fulham now back in control with Cedric Suarez. It's Suarez passing it to Wilson. That's good play. That's good game play by Fulham, and the ball now being crossed to Solomon, who now passes to Robinson. Robinson back to Solomon, and Solomon now has to find a teammate to cross it to. Is he going to try and cross to Wilson? No, he doesn't. He crosses to Suarez. But I felt he should have gone for Wilson because Wilson was closest to goal.
Yeah, he went for the longer ball there, didn't he? And unfortunately, just wasn't able to bring that ball down, and it just rolled out of play. But just looking at the fans behind the goal, the Leeds fans behind that goal, it's an impressive amount of them for a Tuesday night game.
Certainly is, and kudos to them for travelling all the way down from Yorkshire just to be at Craven Cottage tonight, as the ball's now headed away by I think that was Robinson for Fulham, but the ball has now been given away back to Leeds United. It's Ayling who tactically sends the ball as a play, and I think that Somerville is on all fours now. Now he's sitting down. Something must have happened to him. We can't imagine. We don't know what at this moment in time. Paul, can you give me any further details as to what might have happened to him?
Well, it's difficult to ascertain what happened to him. I don't think there was too many people around him, but he's gone down. Now, this is not what Javi Gracia wants, because they've already got an injury crisis at Leeds United without adding Somerville to the list. He's sitting down now, but already Leeds have got players warming up. That looks like Jack Harrison over there that was warming up. We're going to see it here, actually. It looks like he took a knock in the back from Robinson, and I'm just hoping he hasn't pulled anything. If it's just an impact knock, he'll be okay. But if he's pulled something, well, that might be a bigger issue, Nick.
Well, if he is badly hurt, then that is a real blow. Then that could be a real blow to Leeds United. He's feeling his back right now. He's up on his feet and walking, so he appears to be all right. After 11 and a half minutes, it's still Fulham 0, Leeds 0. McKennie aiding his teammates towards a touchline. McKennie now gets back into position, and the game is restarted. So Fulham started. So Fulham have, I feel, have started to lose their edge a bit, but they could regain it over time. And Robinson tried to tackle the ball off. I think that was Ayling. Indeed, it was, and it's another, and it is another throw in to Leeds. So Ayling throws to Somerville. Great to see that he's gone straight back into the action. Whether he'll, although it depends on how long he'll last on there. But
does look like he's moving very gingerly at the moment.
Okay, so it's Robinson now for Fulham, and Robinson tries to pass. Robinson pass to Mitrovic, the first we've seen from him this evening, and no further goals coming in as of yet in the other FA Cup games. Remember, Brighton are currently leading Stoke by 1-0 as Ayling, I think it was, passed to. Now it's with Nonto. Nonto passing this time to Robin to Christensen. Now the ball is finally with Nonto. It's Nonto, or is it? No, it isn't. It was Weston McKennie. McKennie holding off Cedric Suarez, but great deflection by Suarez. But McKennie did well to hold on until the last moment.
Yeah, McKennie was really kind of working to get away from Suarez there, but great work by Cedric Suarez, just keeping up with McKennie there and making sure that the cross doesn't come in.
Corner to Fulham to be taken by Mark Roker, and the burly Leeds number 8 takes a few steps back and he kicks the ball into the 18-yard box, and it's a goal for Leeds United. Or is it? No. The referee's now talking to some of the players. I couldn't see who it was that almost sent it in, but you have to say a lot of confusion going on in the goal area right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see where that might be disallowed. The linesman's flag didn't go up. I noticed the linesman on the far side. The flag didn't go up, and but the referee has seen something else, I would suspect. I'm not sure what. At this time, I'm trying to figure that out. It didn't look a lot wrong with it, and the assistant's flag didn't go up on the far side. So I'm not sure what the problem was there, Nick, to be honest.
The game was restarted. I'm surprised it didn't go to VAR because in other circumstances this is something that would have quite clearly happened. And Javi Gracia clearly angry at this.
Well, I think he might well be. I can't see any reason why it was disallowed.
Sorry,
Nick, go ahead.
So Luke Ayling to take the throw. I'm sure this is something that will be brought up during the half-time interval. So Rodak now takes the ball back to Fulham, but Jorginho Rota, what must be going through his mind? He was the last player to get a touch of the ball, but as you say, it was disallowed.
The only thing I can think of is that Rutter might have been in an offside position, but as I said, the assistant's flag on the far side wasn't risen.
Yeah, it's a case of judge for yourself, but it doesn't change anything. It's still Fulham 0, Leeds 0 after 16 minutes, and it'll be Anthony Robinson to take the throw for Fulham, and it goes straight to Toshin, and Toshin now crossing to Alexander Mitrovic. Mitrovic just misses the ball, or is it Wilson? No, it's Harry Wilson. Wilson. And in fact, it's offside. Wilson offside. He's complaining to the linesman, but the linesman's not having any of it.
Yeah, I think he might have strayed into an offside position there. And I've never been a fan of this heavy protest at officials. Looks like it might be a shove, in fact, as well. There was a shove there by Wilson as well. I think he's got very little to complain about.
Yes, it certainly sounds like it does, and it's half time between Stoke and Brighton in the other FA Cup fifth round match. No new updates coming in as of yet between Leicester and Blackburn. So Toshin now sending the ball. So Toshin now sends the ball over the line, and it will be Firpo to throw for Leeds, and Firpo throws to Rutter, who passes to Nonso, but Rutter I think was restrained by Toshin.
Close again. But a throw in down on this near side now for Leeds. Let's see if they can build on it.
Nonso for the rights, and he passes to Robin Koch. Koch now passing to Rasmus Christensen, the Denmark international, but give it away to Anthony Robinson. Now for Fulham, just look at him go. He passes to Solomon. Solomon passes back, tries to pass back to Robinson, but he's fouled just outside. But he's fouled just outside the 18-yard box. Straight back, gets back going though, and but Fulham still managed to hold on to the ball. It's now with the captain Ream. He passes to Sasha Lukic, and Lukic now passes down the wing to Suarez, but intercepted by Nonto for Leeds, and it's a throw in straight away to the Cottagers, and Lukic now passing to Toshin. Now back to Ream. Ream now finding Anthony Robinson. Robinson passes back to Ream. Remember, these two featured as part of the USA international team in the World Cup. And in terms of possession, Fulham currently on top with 65%, but Leeds are slowly catching up on 35. I think the ball was with Sasha Lukic. Yes, indeed it was. It's Robinson to Solomon. Now back towards Ream. Ream again to Toshin. Now it's Toshin to, I think that was I couldn't see who it was, but either way his long range cross didn't work. Fulham, and it's difficult to say right now which team is the more flustered, Fulham or Leeds.
Well, there seems to be a lot of build-up play by both sides. Again, the final ball, I think with both sides might be the issue here. I think it just needs a little bit of quality in the final third of the field.
Throw into Leeds, and it was aimed for Nonso. Now it goes towards Rutter. Rutter has to pass to, I couldn't see who it was. I think that was McKennie. McKennie fouled, but the referee says play on. It's Robinson. Now with the ball for the Cottagers, although he's under pressure from Somerville. Somerville tries to tackle, but Fulham still hold on. After 20 minutes, it's still Fulham 0, Leeds 0. And Toshin now with the ball. He passes up the wing to Tim Ream. It's Ream trying to hold off McKennie, but a player goes down. I think that was Robinson, and the ball now tackled by Paulina, and Fulham have taken the lead. No doubts about that one this time. It was a genuine effort at goal, and the Fulham fans are jumping up and down. Fulham have now established why they are 6 matches unbeaten.
What a superb strike. I think those people, to our listeners who are listening in and maybe not seeing the pictures, if you get the chance to watch this tonight, do watch it. This is a wonderful piece of quality by Paulina, and just what we were just talking about, quality in the final third of the field. And there it is right there, Nick. What a strike.
And that is his 4th goal in his 28th appearance for the in the club this season. Brilliant strike by the Portugal international. He scored quite a few goals for Portugal during the World Cup. And you have to question why he and you have to question why he wasn't used, and you have to question why he wasn't why he wasn't called upon to score that many goals. But back to the here and now. It's back to the here and now. Leeds are trying to buy their way back into this. It's Somerville now with the ball for Leeds, and he's passed now to Roker, and Roker going for a shot at goal, but deflected away by Rodak.
Well, that's Rodak called into action for the first time today. It's one I would expect him to make, but he had to be alert to the shot. He
certainly did, and Leeds are still hungry for that equaliser, but Fulham are still managing to keep it in control. It's Toshin. He has to watch out for Raza. He passes to Suarez, and Suarez going for a long range cross to, I think that was Wilson, but cut out by Leeds, and it's a throw in to Fulham to be taken once again by Suarez, and a goal between Bristol City and Manchester City in the 7th minute. Phil Foden will check out the meaning of it. We'll check out the meaning of this a little later on. So deeply so this. I think it might be another FA Cup game, and I think it is. Yes, or is it? We'll check later. Anyway, back to the here and now. It's Leeds. It's Leeds now with the ball, and it's Nonto. It's Nonto still with the ball for the Whites. I think he was briefly held by Fulham, but he was managing to hold on. It's Somerville passing now to Ayling, and Ayling now passing to Rasmus Christensen. Koch now to Mark Roker. Now back to Koch, and Koch now passing once again to Christensen. Straight now to McKennie, but the ball's now firmly with Somerville, and Somerville fouled by I think that was Paulinho, and indeed it was, and Somerville. But the thing is, Somerville doesn't appear to be as winded. I think he was just tying his shoelaces.
Yeah, he looks okay now. He's been through the wars a bit early on, hasn't he? That was another challenge that wasn't too pleasant. But it gives Leeds an opportunity now, 35 yards from goal, and see if they can force Rodak into more work.
I can confirm that it was indeed another FA Cup game between Bristol City and Manchester City. So apologies for that. It's a Leeds United free kick to be taken. And it goes to Nonso. Nonso now to Rasmus Christensen, but headed away by Fulham, and it's now McKennie to Mark Roker. Now back towards Nonso. Nonso just outside the 18-yard box, but tackled very well by Fulham in defence.
Good work again defensively, just shutting Leeds down. I can see what Fulham are doing here as Leeds are trying to get the ball down to the wings. They're stopping the cross and coming in, and it's shutting Leeds down a little bit.
Certainly, but they're still trying to break down the door as Somerville crosses to Ayling, but Ayling misses the ball.
Just a bit too much weight on the ball by Somerville, and Luke Ayling was never going to get there with that one, unfortunately.
No, he was too far back. He was too far back. But again, superb right footer. But again, superb right footer by Paulinho. I think that is just the kind of goals that that Fulham need to get past Leeds United and into the quarter-final. It's very rare to see Fulham go through at this stage.
It is rare. It hasn't happened for a very, very long time. The last time I think they got to the quarter-final stage was 13 years ago. They lost to Spurs 3-1.
Hold it! It's now another chance for a goal at Fulham. It's another chance for a goal for Fulham, but it was tackled at the last moment by Ayling. I think Robinson was closest. I think Robinson was closest to the ball. Now the ball being crossed down towards Somerville. Somerville tries to hold off Ream, but deflected away by Toshin for Fulham. And it was just a slip up by Somerville that conceded the ball to Fulham.
Very unlucky Somerville that time. He was certainly getting past the defender there. So for him to slip at the vital moment, that's very unfortunate.
So nothing new in the other FA Cup games so far. We'll keep you updated as we go. It's Nonto with the ball for Leeds, but almost conceding to Fulham. He does well to get it back though. He passes to Koch, and Koch now looking for someone to pass it to up front. He passes to Christensen, who in turn finds Weston McKennie, but tackled by Robinson. For Fulham, or was it Ream? I think it might well have been Ream, and so it'll be a throw in to Leeds. The ball now given to Weston McKennie. McKennie passing straight to Roker. Now it's Roker to Firpo, and Firpo passes to Nonto. Back towards Firpo. Firpo against Nonto. Now it's with Firpo again. Straight now to I think that was Roker. Now it's with Nonto. Nonto back to Roker. Roker crossing to Ayling. Ayling towards Rata, and now a chance for Christensen and Nonto. And it's the equaliser for Leeds United now, or is it? It's offside. It's offside for Leeds United. Nonto thought he had it, and so did we. But Leeds just can't seem to get through Fulham.
No, I think Nonto was definitely in an offside position there. No protest. The assistant raised the flag that time. And the shot that came in was a fantastic effort and a fantastic save by Rodak, because he must have seen that late. But Nonto was still stood in the offside position. And it's a good decision by the assistant on the far side.
Good call by Natalie Aspinall. The assistant referee on that side. Now the ball has been passed back to Fulham. It's Toshin passing down, trying to pass down the wing, but stopped momentarily by Silva. The ball now being thrown out by Firpo, and he passed to Koch. Now it's with. Now the ball's been passed around to, I think that was Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams now passing this time to Christensen. Christensen now to Somerville, and Somerville trying to go around Anthony Robinson, but Somerville does well to hold on. Passing this time now to Luke Ayling. It's Ayling to Tyler Adams. Now the ball is firmly still with Leeds. It's Roker now to Weston McKennie. McKennie passing the ball this time to Koch. Koch back to Tyler. Koch now back to Adams. Now it's with Christensen, who passes to I think that's McKennie. Yes, now back to Christensen. It's Koch. It's Roker. But conceding the ball to Fulham. Mitrovic to Sasha Lukic. Although Lukic was brought down or fouled, I should say, by Mark Roker. The referee's saying play on. And after almost 30 and also for almost 30 and a half minutes, it still remains Fulham 1, Leeds 0. And you have to say at this stage, Paul, with some 15 minutes to go, Leeds are starting to claw their way back into this.
Yeah, they're starting to create opportunities, and they've been unlucky with the first goal. I still don't know what that was disallowed for. Second goal, a little bit unlucky as well. It was a super save by Rodak, because he must have seen that late. But I think if Leeds start to continue to press, that eventually they'll get their reward.
Throw-in taken by Firpo, and he passes to McKennie. Now it's with Christensen. Christensen passing this time. Christensen passing to Ayling, and now the ball's gone towards Weston McKennie. Although he has to hold off Ream. Ream passes to Robinson, and once again the ball goes out of play. Leeds are creating opportunities, but they just can't seem to get through Fulham right now. And Marco Silva being very animated on the touchline. I think that goal must have injected some kind of passion into him, because he's pushing for Fulham to keep going no matter how hard they are trying. And Fulham look like they could well be going for another opportunity. It's Harry Wilson into the 18-yard box. He almost loses control, but keeps himself upright. The ball passing to Sasha Lukic. Now it's with Tim Ream. Ream crossing tried to cross towards Mitrovic, but Mitrovic was held back and he missed the ball.
Well, he's claiming a penalty there, Nick. I think he was bundled over, but I think he went over very easily. Let's have a look at this again. You see it coming in. Yes, it's 6 to 1, half dozen. He's also pulling down Robin Koch at the same time. So it's for me, no penalty.
Thank you for pointing that one out to me, Paul. As it'll be a goal kick to be taken by Meslier, and I have a feeling you're right. Mitrovic did go down easily. I think he went down just as he was tugging away on Koch. But there are plenty more opportunities still available for the Cottagers. It'll be a throw-in to be taken by Robinson. Mitrovic has to calm down and refocus. He appears to have gotten his act together. He was just moving around nonchalantly in his position. So he appears to have calmed down. It's Sasha Lukic under pressure, but the ball is conceded and it goes to Leeds. It's now Firpo passing to Nonso. Nonso now passing up the field to McKennie. McKennie towards Rutter, but the ball was nicked by Toshin.
Yeah, good defending by Toshin there. He had to win that battle against Rutter. Good work, shielding the ball, muscling Rutter out the way and getting the ball out of danger. Good work.
But as we say that something must have happened to Wilfred Nonso. He was holding his jaw momentarily, but he appears to be all right. He doesn't look to be too badly hurt.
He might have picked up a knock. He'll be okay. It looks like he's going to be okay. Just rubbing his jaw a little bit. Probably just took a bit of a knock.
Cross by Ream to Wilson, who in turn passed to Sasha Lukic, but the ball was ejected. And throw was taken by Leeds. It's Roca crossing to Rutter. Now the ball was almost intercepted by Fulham and what looked to be Pereira. And the Fulham crowd just watching expectantly on, and Marco Silva pacing up and down the touchline, throw into the Cottagers, but given away to Leeds, and Fulham now starting to fall back into just losing it at the final third.
Yeah, Leeds are certainly pressing now. They're definitely dominating possession, and they have been for the last sort of 15 minutes or so. They've created a couple of chances as well. I can see why perhaps Marco Silva is becoming a little animated.
Paulinho now towards Wilson. Wilson looked like he was going to shoot, but it was deflected. But it was intercepted by Leeds. And now it goes all the way back to Tim Ream. Toshin now with the ball, and he passes to Wilson, and now the ball ends up with Lukic. It's Lukic crossing to Ream, who passes now to, or was it Pereira? It was Pereira. Pereira now to Paulinho. And Paulinho crossing now to Cedric Suarez. Suarez keeps the ball inside the line, but well intercepted by Leeds. Less than 10 minutes to go until half time, and a foul on Tyler Adams by Pereira, I think it was, but no harm done. He's back up on his feet. Leeds still have the ball. It's Adams to McKennie, and McKennie now passing this time to Somerville. Somerville almost losing it through Robinson, but he does want to hold on to the ball, and Robinson deflects the ball away.
Good defending again by Robinson over on that far side, just stopping Somerville right in his tracks there. Good work.
Throw into Leeds, and the ball now being thrown to Weston McKennie, but tackled by Robinson for Fulham and deflected out again. So the ball, so it will be a throw in this time to Fulham. To Fulham and Robinson. In terms of attempts, Fulham have had 1, Leeds ahead on 2. But Leeds have just got to turn the screw on Fulham just that little bit deeper, and they'll be through. And talking of Lee, this was the incident on Tyler Adams. What do you make of it?
It was a foul. I don't think any further action is needed than that. Going back to what you were saying, Nick, I think Leeds are doing the right things right now. I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing, pressing, creating chances, putting Rodek under pressure, and see if they can get their reward. Here's a good chance from the free kick.
Free kick now towards Leeds. Is it going to go in? No! Rodak was right on the button, and Fulham's lead is kept intact.
Disappointing free kick, just a bit too much on it, but you can kind of see what he was trying to do. But once again, Rodak has the ball, and Fulham breathe again.
And we've also got recently it was half time in the match between Leicester City and Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn leading by 1-0. We'll have more on that in the half. We'll have more on that at the half time break. And so the ball now being picked up by Rodak in goal. Rodak passing to Ream. Ream now passing ahead to Robinson. Robinson now finding Solomon, but nicked by Ayling, who passes to Christensen. Now the ball ends up back with Fulham and Pereira, I think it was. Now Pereira to Toshin, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was Paulinho. Paulinho now crossing forward to Anthony Robinson. Robinson with the ball now towards Pereira. Now the ball is with Solomon. Solomon now to Wilson. Wilson now passing this time to Suarez. Suarez tries to find someone to pass to, but he can only find Toshin, and it's Toshin now to Tim Ream. Ream now passing this time to Mitrovic, I think. Now it's Mitrovic. Now it's Solomon to Suarez. Suarez tried to go through, but couldn't. And I could just see Suarez shouting about something, but I couldn't make out what.
It looks like he was protesting against Firpo, suggesting it was a handball by Firpo. Firpo had turned his back to him. There's no way you can give that as handball.
5 minutes to go now. Fulham 1, Leeds 0. And this is a game that will this is a game that has been real cutthroat. It's now with Robinson. Robinson now to I think that was I couldn't see who, but so it's now Toshin trying to cross to Wilson, but well held by Firpo. It's Firpo now with the ball passing to Nonso. Now the ball's going back towards Nonso. Fulham still trying to get the ball back. Leeds, it seems to me, are just throwing every person at them. Leeds, it seems, are just throwing everything at them, regardless of what position they're in.
Yeah, I think Leeds at this point now are starting to, they more or less have, like I said, for the last 20 minutes, sort of got themselves back into this game, dominating possession and creating chances.
Nonso fouled by Paulinho, but not but I'm sure that'll be nothing doing for the referee. Just a quick push in the back. That was all. But how do you see it?
Well, it was a foul. I don't like the fact that the Leeds players are surrounding the referee looking for further action. I've never liked players trying to get their fellow players sent off or put in the book. I think if I was a referee at that point and players surrounded me like that, I'd be waving yellow cards out because it's the referee's decision in the end. It's not the player's decision.
Free kick to Leeds United, and it'll be either Nonso or Roca to kick the ball. Nonso raises his arm to signal that he's ready. Fulham make up the defensive wall. He sells the dummy, and it's Roca to kick the ball, and it ends up with Ayling. But no way was that ball going to go in.
No, it was a tough one for Ayling to catch. He nearly got there. I mean, credit where it's due. He threw everything at it, did Ayling, but he was just never going to get there. The ball was it was high. It was coming in at fairly fast, and there was just no way Ayling was going to get there. But well, he gave it a good go, didn't he?
He certainly did, and with the clock ticking down, something has got to give within the next 2 minutes. But so far at this moment in time, both sides holding firm, and we now have a corner to Fulham, and we'll try and let you know who it is. That'll be taking the corner. Just as I say it, it'll be Andreas Pereira that will take the free kick for the Cottagers. He runs up and kicks the ball towards Harry Wilson. Now back towards Pereira. Pereira now to Mitrovic. Mitrovic tried to find an opening, but he was intercepted by Somerville. But the ball now goes back to Robinson. Robinson now passing back towards Pereira. Pereira now passing this time to Ream. Ream now to Robinson, and he passes down wing to Suarez. And so Suarez now passing to Toshin. Toshin now back towards Ream. Although the referee, I thought he was going to stop for play or something, but the game goes on. He might have spotted something that we didn't, and it looks the fourth official gets ready to hold up the board to indicate how many more minutes will be added on. I would hazard a guess about 2, or I would hazard a guess about 1 or 2 minutes. It's now Nonso with the ball, who passes to Firpo. Firpo now passing to McKennie, or is it? Now it's gone back towards Firpo. Firpo now towards Pereira, and it's Pereira with the ball for Fulham. He passes this time to Solomon. Solomon goes down, but I think I saw 1 or 2 shouts of a penalty, but nothing was given. And 3 minutes have been added on. So this could well be a real exciting climax to this first half.
Yeah, I think that they're claiming that again. I'm just seeing who that was that was sliding back there. It looks like it's Rasmus Christiansen. You can't give a penalty for that. The ball is behind the man. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head, and it may well have struck his arm. But you can't possibly give a penalty for that.
And what looked to be an attempt on goal by McKennie was rebuffed by Ream, I think it was. Now the ball is firmly with Alexander Mitrovic. Mitrovic tried to hold on, but he could only pass to Paulinho. Paulinho goes down as a result of being pushed by Nonso. So a free kick will be taken straight away by Fulham, and after the first minute of added on time, it still remains Fulham 1, Leeds 0, which I'm very surprised at. because had circumstances not gone against Leeds, they could well have been 2-1 up. It's Christensen now passing to Somerville, but Somerville cut off. But Somerville cut off by Robinson, and what looks to be one of the substitute players could be getting ready to come on. Although I think he will have to wait until the halftime and until the start of the second half, I should say. It's Toshin now for Fulham. Although he has to watch out for Rutter. He passes to Suarez, and now the ball has ended up with Wilson. Wilson losing it to Leeds. It's Tyler Adams. Adams now passing to Weston McKennie, and now towards Somerville. Somerville tries to hold on, but he can only pass to Adams. It's now with Nonto. This has got to be the chance, surely, for Leeds to equalise. No, not quite. It just smacks off the post, but it's still with But it goes back towards Nonto. Nonto to Somerville, and unlucky for Leeds not to equalise.
Well, that's desperately unlucky. Rutter's header has Rodak scrambling, but you can see it just smacks the inside of the post, an inch or two, of course, to the left, or even that, and it's 1-1. Unfortunately, Rutter was not able to collect the follow-up pass either, but what a wonderful piece of football. I mean, it's just great football by Leeds. Just get the ball across from Nonto's once again involved, and the header. Well, Rodek was beaten, but not the post.
We've now entered the last minute. We've now entered the last minutes of this added-on period of the loss. Surely it'll be half time, and indeed it is. What an exciting match. What an exciting match in this game. And after 45 minutes plus 3 at Craven Cottage, it's Fulham 1, Leeds United 0. We'll have other halftime results for you in just a moment or two. But Paul, Fulham. But Paul, you have to say Fulham were lucky. Were lucky to get that one goal and to still be leading.
Well, as wonderful as a strike as it was, and it was a wonderful strike by Paulina, I think for the most part, Leeds were the better team in that first half, and were very unlucky not to be going in at least at level at half time. But this is football. If you don't take your chances, do you really deserve to win? That's the question. And I feel I feel a lot of sympathy for Leeds because they've not had a lot of the rub of the green in this first half.
No, they certainly haven't, and we certainly haven't. And we're going to go for a break, but we're going to go for a break. But just before we do, here's an update of all the remaining FA Cup games plus all the EFL scores. Currently, it's Stoke. Currently in the 65th minutes, it's Stoke 0, Brighton 1, Blackburn 1, Leicester 0, Blackburn 1 in the 47th minute. In the 47th minute, Tyrese Dolan was the scorer for Rovers, and Bristol City 0, Manchester City 1 is the current score in the 39th minute. Now on to the Championship. It's Preston North End 0, Coventry City 0, and Luton Town Trail Millwall, I should say, by a goal to 0 in the 38th minute. In League One, it's Derby County 1, Cheltenham Town 0, Lincoln City 1, MK Dons 0, Peterborough United 0, Charlton Athletic 0, and Portsmouth 0, Bolton Wanderers 0. In League Two, it's AFC Wimbledon 1, Stevenage 0, Barrow 0, Salford City 1, Gillingham 0, Bradford City 1, Harrogate Town 0, Northampton Town 0, and finally Tranmere Rovers 0, Crawley Town 0. We're gonna go for a break, but join us again just before the start of the second half. Don't go away. welcome back to our coverage of the FA Cup fifth round between Fulham and Leeds United. Fulham lead by 1-0, but the story could well have been very different had the cards been in Leeds' favour, Paul James.
Yeah, absolutely. Figuring out what the first goal was disallowed for was for a push by Weston McKennie. Although, to be honest with you, when I looked at the replay again, it didn't look much in it. Certainly, there's been more pushing going on in the middle of the park where the referee hasn't been giving than what was on in that what went on there. But it wasn't given. That's the way it is. And you're right. I think the Leeds have been a little bit unfortunate. The post and just sometimes the vital slip by Rotler at the wrong time. They just haven't quite had the luck in the first half of Leeds United. I definitely feel, though, on the whole, they have been the better team.
Indeed, and we say VAR is a very contentious subject, but I personally think it should have been used for that. But I still think it should have been used. But I still think it should have been used for a goal check.
Yeah, I think so, because if I'm being honest, this is the thing, and it's about consistency. If you look at some of the challenges that have gone on in this game, in the middle of the park, the pushing, the shoving, Chris Kavanagh hasn't given any of them. But when it's in the penalty area, all of a sudden it now becomes this contentious decision about whether or not it's a foul. If that push is a foul, then the goal is disallowed, no problem. But if the same push in the midfield is not given, then it's not a foul. So I just feel there's a lack of consistency by the refereeing in the first half as well.
Leeds appear to have calmed down since then, which is why they went on a roll and tried to try to get on the same terms as Fulham, but they were unable to do so. How can they continue their form going into the second half?
Well, I think Leeds just need to continue what they're doing. I think that they're creating chances. Nanto is being a pain just down the left-hand side. Somerville down the right-hand side, playing extremely well. Weston McKennie in the midfield is winning a lot of the battles, as is Roker. They just need to continue what they're doing and try to create as many chances as possible. I think for Fulham, I think they need to shore up at the back a little bit. I think they've been exposed at the back on a few different occasions. So I wonder whether Marco Silva may make a change at halftime. I think if it continues, I wouldn't expect it to go long past the hour mark before he does make that change.
Yes, certainly. Yes, certainly. And for any fans wondering whether Fulham have gone far in the cup, the answer is yes. They did make the final in the 74-75 season, but that was only once. They lost to West Ham United, and don't forget that this was the team that reached. And don't forget they reached the Europa League final in 2010, losing to Atletico Madrid. But a few minutes ago, there's been a second goal by Blackburn in their game away against Leeds United. Sammy Schmodics in the 52nd minute. So we could have a shot in our hands, and this could well be a brilliant result for the promotion chasing side in the Championship.
Well, they're in the playoffs right now, so I wonder just what they're going to do now. As they're not, they are in the playoffs, but they're not rooted in the playoffs. They're not fixed in the playoffs right now. The playoff system in the Championship is very close right now. Teams falling out and coming back in. So I wonder how much as Blackburn progress through to the next round, what action they take to what do they prioritize? Obviously, you want to be promoted to the Premier League, so it might be interesting to see what happens if they hold on to that 2-goal lead and go through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup.
Well, both Fulham and Leeds back out on the pitch right now, and I've got to say this while I still can. I personally feel that if Blackburn do get promoted, back into the Premier League. I have to say this will be a welcome bit of fresh air to the Premier League, because they were one of the founding clubs. But that's just my opinion anyway. So it'll be Leeds to restart the game, and it will be Jorginho Rutter to kick the ball. No halftime substitutions have been made. So for both teams, it's as you were. As Rutter waits patiently for the referee's whistle to restart proceedings. The referee having a quiet word with one of the players, and now it seems that the game can be restarted, and straight away it's Rutter Rutter restarts proceedings in the second half between Fulham and Leeds. And the ball now goes to Roca. It's Roca passing to I think that was McKennie, but straight away nicked by Fulham, and now it's with McKennie once more. McKennie, or is it Nonto? No, it's Nonto. But the ball was nicked by Toshin, and the ball kicks forwards now towards. I think that might have been Sasha Lukic, but the ball goes towards Ilan Meslier in goal. That was Christensen. But the ball now being kicked towards. I think that was Harry Wilson, and Wilson was Wilson goes down, but straight back onto his feet. You could say that he was clearly unfazed. It's a free kick to Fulham anyway, and the ball was almost going towards Sasha Lukic, but defended by Leeds. Ball cleared out by Meslier, but goes as far as Toshin, and the ball, but it ends up back with Roca at Leeds, and Rutter going for the ball, but easily picked up by easily picked up by Rodak. Throughout the first 90 seconds of the second half, it's difficult to choose between the two right now, as the ball now rolled out towards Toshin, although Rutter tries to take the ball but can't. It now goes towards Robinson. Robinson passing to Tim Ream, and Ream now passing to Mitrovic straight now, but the ball goes to Paulinho. Paulinho tries to send it forward, but can't, as it now goes back towards Leeds, and the ball is now with Sarinesco. Somerville tried to pass the ball around, but it was nicked by I think that was Mana Solomon. Yes, indeed it was. It's Solomon crossing forward to Pereira. It's Pereira's now inside the 18-yard box, but he has to go back. He passes to Solomon. Solomon tries to find a gap, but Fulham still managed to hold on to the ball despite it being deflected. It's now with Sasha Lukic. Lukic now passes the ball down the wing to Tim Ream, and it's Tim Ream now towards Robinson. Robinson passes to, I think that was Mitrovic. Now it's with Robinson again, but superb interception by Leeds. It's Rutter to Nonto, but saved at the last moment by Rodak. McKennie tries to take the ball off, but Leeds just still can't seem to break through Fulham.
What a super save by Rodak once again. But Leeds breaking forward, catching Fulham out on the break, 2-on-1. Nice slide pass through to Nonto. I don't think there's anything so much wrong with Nonto's attempt on goal. I think it was really just a nice finish right across the goal there. It was a nice save right across the goal there, and a super save by Rodak just gets his left hand onto that.
Rodak has been super alert for Fulham so far tonight, and the ball is now with Mitrovic after he tackled Rasmus Christensen. He kicks the ball, he crosses, I should say, up the wing to Cedric Suarez. It's Suarez with the ball. He's all on his own, but passes to Manor Solomon. Now it's back towards Suarez. Suarez tries to go around Adams, but the ball snaps back and it goes and it's been taken by Weston McKennie, I think it is. But Leeds still managed to hold the ball through Roca, and Roca now crossing to Somerville, but Somerville just clips it away.
Well, another long ball there, but it just was out of the reach of Somerville, who has just been deadly down the right-hand side in the second half. I've been very impressed with him. And for Leeds, again, they're continually pushing forward. They might want to look at maybe a change themselves, maybe bring on someone like Patrick Bamford just to add a bit of impetus into their attack. But so far, it's a very absorbing game, Nick.
Yes, yes, but as I failed to go through the subs, but before kick-off, I will rattle them through them quickly. For Fulham, it's Leno, Duffy, Tete, Diop, Reed, Decordova, Reed, Harris, Vinicius, and Willian. For Leeds, Robles, Montero, Harrison, Jarby, Aronson, Gray, Bamford, Perkins, and Joseph. And but Leeds have just regained possession, and the ball is now with Somerville. Somerville to Rutter. Rutter tries to go for a shot, and once again saved by Rodak. Can nothing get past him?
Well, he's been very impressive in this game. He's the reason why Fulham are still in front. Great work by Rutter. Clever thinking to get the shot away there, but Rodak was well awake to it. Again, Somerville involved. Just puts it into the penalty area. Rutter turns, gets the shot away. Smart save by Rodak. Good football all round.
Certainly is, and what must be going through Jorginho Russ's head. Very disappointed not to get the goal earlier on. But the ball now being thrown by Anthony to Ream. It's Ream, or should that be Robinson to Ream? Now it's with now the ball is firmly. Now the ball is with Suarez. Suarez still with the ball. He now passes to Toshin. And Toshin now, and it's Toshin now to Ream. Ream has to watch out for the Leeds defenders. Ream takes the ball back again after it was briefly with Anthony Robinson. And Ream now finds Robinson again. It's Robinson for Fulham, but intercepted by Leeds through Adams and Somerville. Now the ball goes to Toshin. It's Toshin towards Anthony Robinson. Now the ball has ended up with Jorginho Rutter. Rutter takes the ball for Leeds. Almost tackled, but holds on, and it goes over the crossbar. He aimed too far to the left, in my view. But Rutter has to be the unluckiest guy in the game so far.
Well, it was great work as he danced into the penalty area, just got the shot away. The trouble is, I think he just got his foot underneath the ball, which, of course, meant the ball was lifting up into the air and going well over the crossbar. But it was again, Rutter is causing an awful lot of problems for Fulham in their defence. And at this point, I really do feel that it's time for Marco Silva to look at strengthening that defence a little bit, because Fulham are getting closer and closer, and as on form as Leeds are getting closer and closer. Leeds are getting closer and closer, and as Rodak is playing well right now, he's going to need some support.
Leicester have pulled one back in their game against Blackburn Rovers. Kelechi Iheanacho in the 67th minute. So it's now Leeds. So it's now Leicester 1, Blackburn 2. And but back to our main game tonight. It's Ayling for Leeds, but cut out by Anthony Robinson, and it will be a throw in to Leeds. So Ayling picks up the ball. He gets ready to throw. The scarves are still being waved around the stadium, but throw-in taken by Leeds. But it wasn't to anyone's satisfaction, and Leeds are still hopeful that they can get themselves back, that they can get themselves back into this game. As I think that was a foul by Rutter on, I couldn't see who it was. I think it might have been Lukic, but the referee only gives Fulham a free kick, and so Tim Ream gets ready to kick the ball out. I mean further forward, but it's only a pass by Pereira to Rodak. Now it's with Ream. Robinson passing at this time to, I think that was Solomon, but again well held by Fulham. Mitrovic crossing the ball up front, up wing, I should say, to Harry Wilson. And Wilson crossing into the 18-yard box. The ball is now firmly with Solomon. Solomon has to go around. He crosses forward to, I think that was Mitrovic, but kept up by Leeds. Fulham are still hungry for that. Fulham are still hungry for their second goal, but Leeds have just kept them out, and the ball is now back with Robinson. Robinson pushed by Serenestio Somerville, and that to me, Paul, was very unnecessary and uncalled for.
Yeah, cuts across, just kind of gets a knee into his side actually by Crescencio Somerville. It was a foul that wasn't needed to be committed. You run the risk of going into the referee's notebook like that.
Any more like that, and he almost certainly will go in the referee's book. As we're now 55 and a half minutes in total. It's still Fulham 1, Leeds 0. You're listening to the Commentary Hub with Nicholas Jones and Paul James. As Pereira crosses up wing to Harry Wilson. Wilson has to give the ball back, and it almost ends up with Alexander Mitrovic. Now it's firmly with Mana Solomon. Solomon now with the ball. He's going for a shot, and Fulham have doubled their leads. Amazing finish by Solomon. He scored 3 in their last game as a substitute. He does it for the 4th time, but starting up front was an amazing finish by the Democratic Republic of the Congo International, and Fulham lead by 2-0.
Well, I'll tell you, Nick, that was this Mana Solomon, what I've seen of him in recent games. He is deadly from that position, and he's got so much space there right on the edge of the penalty area. And again, listeners, if you're listening into this, please tune in to see this goal again tonight on Match of the Day or whatever channel it is on in England. But you can see here right on the 18-yard line, curls it away for Milan Meslier. Doesn't stand a chance, Nick. Doesn't stand a chance.
You could say that again, and part of me would have to say that Fulham are now a dead cert to win. But as we all know, in these cup matches, the score can be turned around very easily. Fulham just have to keep on doing what they're doing, and keep Leeds at bay for the next 33 minutes. Leeds now need to shake that off. Leeds just need to shake that goal being conceded off and get themselves back into the action. But Fulham still hogging the ball through Tim Ream and now Toshin. Rutter trying to get the ball off Toshin, but Fulham still managed to hold themselves firm, and a foul by Firpo, I think it was, on Solomon. But we'll have to check on that one. And as for Mana Solomon, it is his 4th goal of the season. What I also forgot to mention is that he is on loan from Shakhtar Donetsk. So knows a lot about European football. It's Firpo. Firpo concedes the ball to Pereira, and the ball is now with Solomon again. Now it's with Robinson to Ream. Ream now passing to, I think that was Sasha Lukic, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was João Paulinho. Paulinho, but now passing to Ream. But the ball goes over the line. What do you say? What do you think Leeds have to do to bring themselves back into it?
Well, they've got a mountain to climb, Nick, an absolute mountain to climb, thanks to two wonderful strikes. And I feel sorry for Leeds because they have been the better team, but this kind of quality by both Paulinho and Solomon, they deserve to win cup ties.
And with Manor Solomon being an Israeli international, if he plays like that at both club and country level, we could well see Israel in next year's European Championships. As Firpo passes to Rutter. Now it goes back to Firpo. Firpo now to Roca. And it's now back with Nonto. Nonto to Tyler Adams. Christensen now back towards Adams. Adams now pressing the ball further forward, but cut out by Fulham. The Cottagers once again showing their strong pace of defence.
Yeah, they're good work. They're going to be buoyed by this goal now. I think for Leeds, they've got to they might have to weather a 5 or 10 minute storm here, because they've definitely got their tails up Fulham right now. And it's just such a mountain to climb for Javier Gracia and Leeds.
And it looks to me as though we might have a substitute. Looks to me as though we might have a substitute coming on soon. I think the player I saw that was warming up was Jack Harrison. We'll let you know whether he comes on or not. As Nonto now has the ball, but it was briefly taken by Fulham. Now it's back with Leeds. And the ball is now firm, and the ball is now with Rutter, straight to Luke Ayling, who passes down wing to Somerville. Sorinesco Somerville passing to McKennie, now back towards Somerville. Can Somerville break through? The answer is no. Good defending by Fulham. It's Adams this time to Nonto. Nonto has to get round. He passes to Roca. Now the ball was aimed for Weston McKennie, but intercepted by Andreas Pereira. For Fulham, Pereira now passing to Anthony Robinson. Robinson has to hold off Tyler Adams. He does so. It goes back to Pereira. Pereira now passing to Harry Wilson. It's Alexander Mitrovic. And it's just wide off the post. No way was it going to be 3 for Fulham.
Well, so quick on the break was Fulham there. Look at how quickly they broke out from when that move broke down for Leeds United. Anthony Robinson, great pass over to Pereira. It was a little bit wide of him, but Pereira got there. And then the pass finally to Mitrovic. Obviously, it was good defending by Leeds there, but that was very quickly broken out by Fulham.
Pereira to take the corner for Fulham. He kicks the ball into the 18-yard box, but everybody misses except for I think that was Lukic. Now it's with Anthony Robinson. Robinson now passing to Harry Wilson. Wilson has to go around. Wilson trying to go around everyone, can't quite do so, and he has to pass to Suarez, but the referee is trying to get play to be stopped because Wilson has been fouled.
Looks like it's I just wonder what it is there, Nick. He's kind of clutching his leg. I thought for a minute it was a head injury, but I think it's just a knee-on-knee clash there. I'm just not quite sure who that was. I think it's Tyler Adams. That'll hurt for a little while, but I think that might be an impact injury.
Well, he seems to be all right, and I think we've just had a substitution change for Leeds. In fact, there's 2 as Patrick Bamford comes on for Jorginho Rutter, and Harrison comes on, and Jack Harrison comes on in place of Wilfried Nonto. Nonto and Rutter showed their form, but it was but they were just unlucky not to convert anything for Leeds.
I am surprised because that's been 2 of Leeds' best players. I'm really surprised.
Well, let's just Javi Grazia can only hope that this was the right decision. As we're now 63 and a half minutes in, it's still Fulham 2, Leeds 0. As Ayling now takes the ball for Leeds, but it's intercepted by Fulham, and that was through Joao Paulinho, who I think deflected the ball over the line. But for Javi Grazia, who took Watford through to the FA Cup final in 2019, I don't think there'll be any such heroics from him this year.
Well, it's certainly not looking like it, is it? Right now, they've got 25 minutes left to get 2 goals. If they can score relatively quickly, well, you never know.
Remember that with this being the 5th round, should they be level after 90 minutes, there will be a 30-minute period of extra time, and if that won't be resolved, then it will go to a penalty shootout, and it's Toshin for Fulham, and he's trying to cross to Wilson, I think it was, but well held by Leeds. That was with Firpo, and the ball now being crossed towards Mitrovic, and Fulham have their 3rd! Superb header by the Serbia international, but is it disallowed? I think it has. I think the goal has been disallowed, so it won't count. But
it did look a little bit offside, actually, Nick. Just looking at it, but we'll see it again, and just to be sure,
this could well go to VAR. And in fact, he was behind Rasmus Christensen. So Fulham can hope that this will go to VAR, but I can see no activity going on there. So this will likely count as a disallowed goal.
Yeah, for me, it was offside. I kind of thought about it when I saw it in real time, but just looking at the replay just kind of confirmed my suspicions.
Now the ball's been given back to Leeds through Roca, but he was almost tackled, but I think he was just about tackled by Sasha Lukic. The referee was saying advantage Leeds, and the ball is still with them. It's now with Roca again, although he tries to go around, or was it Jack Harrison? No, it was indeed Jack Harrison. Fulham just couldn't get through him. But what can you say about Alexander Mitrovic? Unlucky not to make it Fulham's 3rd.
Yeah, it would have been nice for him to have gotten a goal on his return from injury, but he'd gone into an offside position, and I think it's unfortunate for him. But Fulham have still got this 2-goal lead. For me, Leeds need to score really in the next. No later than the next 10 minutes or so if they want any hope of getting back into this game. But the way Rodak's playing, I don't know whether they will.
Still not. No further goals coming in as of yet in the remaining cup games. If we don't get anything within the next 23 or so minutes, we'll let you know the current and full results after 90 minutes. It looks like it'll be a throw in, and it looks like it'll be a throw in to Fulham through Robinson. This game is just getting more and more exciting by the minute as Robinson throws to Mitrovic. Now it's with Pereira, but a throwing will once again go to Fulham. And talking of Fulham, there will be a substitute, and it's going to be Alexander Mitrovic, who also nearly made it to the 3rd for Fulham, and he will be replaced by Carlos Vinicius. Mitrovic will just have to get off the pitch, calm down, and collect his thoughts. There'll always be another game for him.
Well, I think it's a smart decision. He's just coming back from injury. Fulham are 2-0 up in the 5th round of the Cup. So I think it's a smart decision to take him off rather than risk it aggravating that existing injury.
you could well be right, given Fulham's recent Premier League run, as what looked to be Harry Wilson was going for was pushing the ball further forward, but it goes over the line and it will be a Leeds throw, headed this time by Suarez, but Suarez tries to send the ball further forward for Fulham, but nothing doing. It's Somerville for Leeds, clipped away by Toshin. But it still remains with Leeds. Sorry, and the referee and Chris Kavanagh has called place for holds. I think he was fiddling about in his back pockets for a yellow card. It looked to me as though he was, but I didn't see anything coming out. Fulham have had 2 goals on target, Leeds 4. So it just goes to show that Leeds are continuing to pile the pressure on. It's Manor Solomon now for Fulham, and he passes to Tim Ream. Ream now to Pereira. Pereira tries to send Pereira passing up the wing to Suarez. Now the ball goes to Lukic. Back now to Suarez. Or should that be Paulinho? Paulinho down wing to Ream. We're now into the last 20 minutes. It's still Fulham 2, Leeds 0. You're listening to the Commentary Hub with Nicholas Jones and Paul James as Ayling now has the ball for Leeds, but intercepted by Ream. And once again a good call by the Fulham captain.
Yeah, I mean, they're working quite well at the back now of Fulham. They're looking a lot more steady in the last sort of 15 minutes or so at the back, and they seem to have figured out the Leeds attack and are shutting them down.
They certainly are, and the ball was for a moment with I think that was Harrison, or was it? No, it wasn't. Or was it? No, it wasn't. It was. I think it was Roca, but offside against Leeds. I think it was Jack Harrison. I think that might have been Jack Harrison who was offside. We'll take another look. We'll take another look at it. But either way, no, it was Bamford. It was Bamford who was offside. What do you make of it?
I thought it was Weston McKennie, to be honest, but it's offside nevertheless, and he was offside. He definitely, if you want to use the old-fashioned termage, there was certainly daylight between him and the defender.
Indeed, there might have been Sasha Lukic to I think that was Manor Solomon. Now the ball's gone back towards Lukic, who aims to pass to Vinicius, but capped out by Koch for Leeds, and it's now back with Robinson. Robinson looked like he was going for a shot, but deflected away by Luke Ayling.
Great.
Although Ayling's now having a word with the referee's not happy with what just happened. Well, what do you make of it?
Well, I don't know why he's complaining. I'm a little bit confused. He's made the challenge. He's made a good challenge, and it's obviously resulted in a corner. But I don't know what he's suggesting. It seemed a perfectly normal situation. He blocked it, and it went behind, and it's a corner. So I'm not sure why he's getting in the referee's face.
Pereira to take the corner for Fulham. He gets himself ready. He kicks the ball into the 18-yard box, but everybody misses except for Tim Ream. That was a poorly taken corner by Fulham in my view, but it was almost given away to Leeds United, but Fulham were able to reclaim the ball.
Yeah, it just went over everybody's head, didn't it? And I think it probably would have gone behind for a goal kick, but Tim Ream was on the end of it to fix that. To fix that and pick it up.
Roca goes off, and on will come Brendan Brendan Aronson, another American international. So So as I said before kickoff, the USA international team well represented.
Yeah, let's see if he can find a way to break down the Fulham defence a little bit now. So it's a smart decision to change it up now and try to add a little bit more creativity.
Solomon for Fulham, now passing to Pereira. Now it's with Anthony Robinson. Robinson now Robinson now to Joao Paulinho. Paulinho now passing to Toshin. It's Toshin for Fulham. Now it's passed towards Wilson. I think that was Sasha Lukic who had the ball momentarily, but a throw-in has been given. To Leeds, and Fulham have just got to hold on throughout the next quarter and hour of a bit. Throughout the next quarter and a bit hour, they're certainly doing that, and it's just paying off for them. But Aronson now with the ball for Leeds, and he passes to Tyler Adams, and it's straight now to Rasmus Christensen. Rasmus Christensen passing to Luke Ayling, but I think he was cut off. But I think he was cut out briefly by Manor Solomon. Now it's still with Leeds, but the ball's been taken back by Fulham. It's Vinicius to Atoshi. Now it's back with Leeds. Tyler Adams to Weston McKennie. Now it's with Rasmussen again, and we're just over the 75th minute. It's still Fulham 2, Leeds 0, and there's still no further goals coming in the other FA Cup games, and once again it's Adams passing to Junior Firpo. Firpo now to I think that's Marco Roca. Roca going for a shot, but it's over the crossbar. No way was that going to go in. Or I'm actually having second thoughts about who the player about who the player was that did it. But either way, a wasted opportunity for Leeds.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was Jack Harrison, actually. He cut across the penalty area, and I think he might have been better just lifting it to the two forwards that was there in the middle, standing on the edge of the 6-yard box. I think by attempting a shot from there, he wasn't going to be successful, and it just flew over the crossbar. Free
kick and a goal kick taken by Fulham, and but intercepted once again by Leeds. It's Christensen almost losing it to Christensen, almost giving it to Fulham, but it was a good play by Aronson and Harrison going for a shot, but almost sent it, but palmed away easily by Rodak, and another shot, but it's a missed one for Leeds, and that was by Aronson, I think. Fulham's door hasn't been broken down.
Well, it's really good build-up. Just down this near side again by Harrison. Harrison this time just gets across. This was a crucial touch by Rodak. Bamford was right behind him. Had Rodak not got that, Bamford had a free header into the goal. But a super touch by Rodak, and the follow-up shot was just wide. Good attempt by Leeds.
Yes, indeed it was. But Leeds have got to get themselves back into it and fast with time ticking down. It's Robinson to Toshin. Now Toshin passing up the wing to, I think that was Sasha Lukic. It's Lukic passing to Paulinho, and but intercepted by Leeds. It's Adams to Weston McKennie. McKennie now passing up front to Brendan Aronson. Aronson trying to set up Bamford or Harrison. Now it goes to Weston McKennie, but kept out by Fulham, and an open shot, a goal by Aronson. Fulham are still able to keep the ball out of play. How do they do it?
Wow, that was an incredible build-up. Ultimately, the final effort came to Aronson, who was 6 yards out, and he had quite a bit of the goal gaping. But it starts again from Aronson. He slips it to Harrison. Again, good work by Rodak, although he doesn't get quite enough on it this time. It requires a clear up off the line from Tim Ream, and then the second opportunity. Actually, it didn't come off Aronson. The last one, it came off Weston McKennie, and ended up just going wide. But wow, you know what? Maybe it's Fulham's day. When that sort of stuff goes against you like that, you start to wonder whether it's your day at all.
Vinicius to Vinicius, I think to I couldn't see who it was, but it's now Aronson for Leeds. He passes to West. He passes to I think that was Weston McKennie, but it goes but it's over the crossbar again, or was it Somerville? No, it was Somerville, and Somerville did everything right, but he was just kept out by Tim Ream.
Good work by Tim Ream from preventing the cross from coming in. He's been immense today as Tim Ream, and I have to select a man of the match in about 5 or 6 minutes' time. And there's a lot of names that I could choose from, but Tim Ream has been really good tonight.
Yes, you could say that again as Leeds take the corner, but it wasn't the corner I expected, or were they saving something in reserve? If they did, then it wasn't. If they did, then it didn't go right. And that was a superb effort by Rasmus Christensen, but it just goes over the crossbar again. Leeds just can't get through Fulham.
Oh, this one's a little bit unlucky because he didn't really have time to sort of control it and direct the shot. When the cross came in from Christensen, and it's just been shut out on our monitors there now. But it hit the leg of the forward and bounced over the crossbar.
3 substitutes coming on for Fulham. We will let you know who they will be coming on for. I think one of them might have been Luke Harris, and I can now reveal that one of the substitutes is for Paulinho again. That superb goal in the first half, just magic.
Absolutely sensational. I think the other substitutions are Manus Solomon and Harry Wilson. I think are the other 2 that's going off. But incredible, absolutely incredible.
And we'll let you know who they are shortly. And in fact, Reid has come on for Paulinho, De Cordova Reid on for Solomon, and Willian, formerly of Chelsea, on for Harry Wilson. But even with them on the pitch, I think they'll still. I think they'll do pretty well to attack. I think they'll do pretty well to hold Leeds off. I don't think they'll be looking to go for goals in the next 9 minutes.
No, it looks like they're kind of shutting shop up now. 8 minutes to go now. It's you're 2 goals up. You don't want to take any unnecessary risks. They are defending quite well, although Leeds have really been pressuring. But they've got attacking options still. De Cordova Reid and Willian, they can provide some punch up front.
They jolly well could, as it's Ream to Robinson. Robinson passing just over the centre line to Willian. Willian has to hold off Luke Ayling, and he does the right thing by passing to Marek Rodak in goal. Rodak passing now to Toshin, and now it ends up with Tim Ream. Like Paul says, he's been really impressive tonight, and he has to pass again to Robinson. Another player who I have to say has done really well. De Cordova Reid now or should that be Harrison Reid for Fulham? Reid now passing to Toshin, now back to Reid, and Reid crossing down the wing to Willian. Willian now sprinting, but he has to pass to Robinson. The ball is now in the 18-yard box, goes back to Willian, but cut out by by Leeds. Pereira back to Robinson, but tackled by Ayling, or should that be intercepted by Ayling? But he gives the ball back to Fulham and Harrison Reed. Reed passing to Tim Ream, and it's full time between Leicester City and Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn win the game 2-1. We'll have you. We'll have more updates as and when we can, and also the results at full time. And it's Willian. And it's Willian now with the ball, trying to go around Rasmus Christensen, but Christensen just manages to keep it out, and that has got to be good defending by Leeds. But as we said earlier, it's surely too late for them now.
Yes, I think so. I don't think they're going to get back into this game now. I think as time ticks down, it looks like Fulham are going to be through to the quarterfinal for the first time since 2009 and 2010, I think.
If you remember early on in the commentary, I said that was the year they reached the Europa League final, as that was a superb long ranger by Cedric Suarez, but it was just saved by Ilan Meslier, and that could have well been a wonderful third goal for Fulham.
Yeah, it looked a straightforward save, but that ball was dropping, and they're not always the easiest to deal with. So good save by Meslier.
Meslier did really want to save that one, but the ball is but Leeds still have the ball. It's Jack Harrison. It's Jack Harrison dancing around with the ball, but he passes to Tyler Adams, and now it's with Brendan Aronson. Aronson now to Firpo, and we're almost going to have Paul give his player of the match as Leeds go for a cross, and it's just capped out by Rodak. And it goes back towards Ayling and McKennie, and it's Tyler Adams, but the shot is just wide. And now Paul would be a good time to give your player of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services.
Well, there's so many I could have given it to. Tim Ream, Manor Solomon, obviously Paulinia. But I just feel that that Fulham would not be winning right now if it wasn't for Marek Rodak, whose goalkeeping has just been quite outstanding today. He's made several saves that have allowed Fulham to get themselves into this position. So my player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Fulham's number one, Marek Rodak.
So congratulations to him. We're 3.5. We're now 3.5 minutes away from full time, and Fulham I feel are doing just enough to hang on as it's now with Harrison Reed, but gives it away to Tyler Adams. Now pushed forwards now the ball kept in by Reed. Reed now passing to Ream, or I should say now passing to Toshin, But it goes for a throw, and it will be Jack Harrison to attempt to throw, or is it going to be a Fulham throw? No, it is a Fulham throw. Manor Solomon, you said, and Manor Solomon, Paul, you said was another contender for player of the match. He's really shown his form tonight, hasn't he?
Oh, he's been outstanding tonight. He's been a constant threat down the right-hand side, and his goal was amazing. And I was doing some practice commentary in the Wolves and Fulham game, and I saw his goal there, and it was just another outstanding strike from around the 18-yard box. Defenders are going to have to cop on to the fact that this man is very, very dangerous from the edge of the box, and they need to watch him more carefully. But he's been quite brilliant tonight.
And we've now got 2 minutes left. It's Carlos Vinicius trying to take the ball for Fulham, but Robin Koch got in the way, and I think Koch and I think Koch was bundled down by Vinicius, but that didn't look to be harmful.
No, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was just one of them, wasn't it? I think it was more 6-1, to be honest.
I don't exactly know what 6-1 means, but we'll be sure to get the definition. But we'll be sure to get the definition after 90 minutes as Fulham continue to hold Leeds at bay. It's Tyler Adams to Junior Firpo. Firpo now passing to Patrick Bamford, and it's now gone to Aronson, almost sent back to Bamford, but Reed intercepting for Fulham, and across now by Suarez, but picked up by Meslier in goal. Ayling heading. I think that was to Somerville, but it was halted by Harrison Reed. We've now got 30 seconds of normal time left. One can only ask how many minutes will be added for injury time. It looks like a fourth substitute for Fulham coming on, and off comes Cedric Suarez, and on comes Kenny Tete. So Kenny Tete, Kenny Tete, how do you see him as a defender?
Well, he's a right back, and he's very good. I can see what they're doing here. They're just making sure that they don't concede any late goals, and I think it's definitely the right thing to do. They don't want any drama in injury time.
We've just gone over 90 minutes, and 2 minutes have been added on. It's Robinson for Fulham. He passes to Harrison Reed. Now it's with Tim Ream. Ream now passing to Rodak in goal. Ball cleared out by Ream, and but it only goes as far as Koch for Leeds. And now the ball is firmly with Somerville. Somerville now to Brendan Aronson. Brendan Aronson just outside the 18-yard box, but he has to pass back to Adams, and now it's with Rasmus Christensen. Adams once again, and he passes to Koch. Firpo now to I think that's Jack Harrison. Then it goes back towards Firpo. Firpo almost tackled by Toshin, but Fulham win the ball back all the same. For Leeds, only a consolation goal is surely going to be the main priority now, as Somerville goes for a shot, but it's just wide.
Yeah, it's just been the entire evening for Leeds in that situation. They were just unlucky here. They did, the ball did bounce out there to Somerville. His shot though was wide. The finishing for Leeds has not been up to par tonight. They haven't been able to take the chances that they've got. Yes, it's true they've had some bad luck and they've come up in front of a hot goalkeeper. But nevertheless it's been a disappointing evening for them. I do think on the whole they've been the better team, but they just haven't taken their chances. That's the problem.
Full time now at Craven Cottage. Fulham are through to the quarterfinals for the first time in some 13 years. Leeds go through the exit door and bow out of the FA Cup. Their main priority now is Premier League survival. But for Fulham, this could be more. But for Fulham, going through to the next round could be more of a problem. What do they do? Do they prioritize their impressive season in the Premier League, or do they focus on the FA Cup? Full time at Craven Cottage, Fulham 2, Leeds United 0, and Paul, we both agree that this night was very much Fulham's.
Yeah, it was two fantastic goals. Both goals were amazing, and ultimately, you had some standout performances from the likes of Tim Ream, Manor Solomon, Paulinho, as you mentioned. Robinson is another one that's been fantastic. So there's been some good performances, individual performances from Fulham. I still feel that Leeds were perhaps a better side. But they didn't take their chances, and they did run into a goalkeeper who was in fantastic form as well. So it's a good win for Fulham, and in terms of prioritising either chasing Europe or simply going after the FA Cup, I don't think they should sacrifice either. I really think that they shouldn't be looking to sacrifice their FA Cup performances. Getting to the quarterfinals now, great chance for them.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But for Leeds United, their woes continue. That's despite winning against Southampton at the weekend, they've got this long road ahead of Premier League survival. What do you think Javi Gracia has got to do to ensure that the Whites don't drop down to the Championship?
Well, they've got to put this behind them now, and they've got to show the sort of fight that they showed today in the league. This is a cup tie. Okay, it's not gone how they planned. They're eliminated, but now they have to focus this kind of effort now in the league, because that relegation fight down at the bottom right now, there's several teams involved, and any one of perhaps 7 teams could be drawn into that bottom 3. So they have got a fight and a half on their hands, and they've got some pretty tough games coming up. They've got Chelsea away, Brighton at home, Wolves away, which has to be a must-win, and Arsenal at home in the next 4 games. So these are very, very difficult games for the Whites. So they need to make sure they're focused.
Yes, indeed, they should be. And before we go, now's the time to go through the other remaining results of the FA Cup 5th round. Stoke City 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Leicester City 1, Blackburn Rovers 2 are the other results that are classified. Manchester City are currently dominating away against Bristol City, leading by 3 goals to 0. The only major shock out of tonight has to be Blackburn winning against Leicester City, and now we can go through the scores across the EFL games, starting with the Championship. It's finished Preston North End 0, Coventry City 0, and the latest in the other Championship game, Luton Town 1, Millwall 2. In League One, it's Derby County 2, Cheltenham Town 0, Lincoln City 1, MK Dons 0, MK Dons 1, I should say, Peterborough United 0, Charlton Athletic 0, and Portsmouth 3, Bolton Wanderers 1. In League 2, AFC Wimbledon 2, Stevenage 3, Barrow 1, Salford City 1, Gillingham 0, Bradford City 2, Harrogate Town 1, Northampton Town 1, and finally Tranmere Rovers 2, Crawley Town 0. And but we are not done with the FA Cup on the Commentary Hub just yet. We have got 2 games coming up for your enjoyment tomorrow. It's Russ Vernon will be bringing you the coverage of Burnley against Fleetwood Town, but that will be on TC Hub 2 only. And but on all the other channels, it's Manchester United against West Ham United. And Paul, we've got to do it all over again.
Yeah, we do. It's going to be an interesting game tomorrow. West Ham are sort of recovering a little bit now from their early season form, but they're in a relegation battle as well. And Manchester United conceivably can still win the title. I don't think they will. It's going to be a huge performance if they were to do that. But we're almost in the same situation where we're looking at two teams at each end of the table.
Yes, yes, we could well be, but West Ham, but West Ham, their style of football is a lot. Their style of football is a lot different to us, Leeds, so they could give Manchester United a run for their money.
Oh, absolutely. Manchester United, I don't know if they're going to rest any players after the League Cup victory. They may well choose to do that. Obviously, West Ham are still concerned about maintaining their Premier League position. So it might be interesting to see what's in store for us tomorrow, Nick.
Certainly, and also with regards to it, Burnley against Fleetwood Town. No disrespect to Burnley, but it would be quite something if Fleetwood were to get a shock victory over the Clarets. But we will find out tomorrow. We're just about out of time. My thanks to Paul James. My thanks to Paul James for giving me his insights and views alongside me, and when I said we've got to do it all over again. And when I said we're going to do it all over again, I'm going to be presenting for West Ham again. I'm going to be presenting for Manchester United against West Ham. Paul will be doing the line. Paul will be doing the lion's share in the commentary box. So once again, my thanks to him, and also to all of you listeners for tuning in. What better way to spend your Tuesday nights than listening to a really good game of football, even if it is one-sided. Will it be the same tomorrow? Who knows? Join us again. Will it be the same tomorrow? Who knows? Join us again then. But until then, from all of us on the Commentary Hub, good night.